Welcome to Just Some Guy Trading with 2021 World Champion Trader Kevin McCormick. This is my weekly outlook for the week of January 30th. We're going to be covering the S&P 500, NASDAQ, copper and the other metals, soybean oil, and the US dollar. As a reminder, this is for educational purposes only. Before we can jump into the charts, we have to address the major economic events going on this week. In addition to 20% of the S&P 500 reporting earnings, on Tuesday, we have consumer confidence report coming out, followed up by a major Wednesday of announcements with ADP employment survey, the JOLTS job openings, and the most important meeting of all, the Federal Reserve meeting, where everyone in the market is expecting a 25 basis rate hike from the Federal Reserve. Anything different than this, and we could see some major market volatility. But if that wasn't enough, on Thursday, we have jobless claims and the ECB and BOE banks meeting where we're expecting rate hikes from them as well. These meetings will probably define the trend for the next 2 to 4 weeks. We need to be paying attention to these and be expecting volatility. With that said, let's jump into the charts. All right, today we're going to start off with the S&P 500 index. As I mentioned with the economic reports, it's going to be a crazy week, and we are hitting right now in the S&P 500 this area of resistance that we've had around 4,100. The TDST line is actually 4,110. We've been hitting this resistance since September 12th. This area of resistance was set. And you can see here we hit it just up against it once and twice. This 13 gave us a great sell signal before. And what are we looking at this week? We're on a 10 combo right now, which means this week we could move up above this area of resistance, get our 13. It would not be a qualified breakout, and then move lower again. That's why I'm highlighting the economic news is so important this week, because we're either going to break higher and probably establish a new trend upwards, or this resistance will hold and the market has a decline set up in the future. If we take a look at the NASDAQ, similar setup, but we aren't on a 13 count. We're actually on a 6 for the 9 sell setup. The NASDAQ did break this area of resistance that was set by the TDST line, but you see it's still dotted, which means it's not a confirmed breakout yet. So just like I said before, if we get a good 3 or 4 days up this week, maybe heading, after the Federal Reserve meeting, we break higher, but then sell off afterwards. We could be looking at a fake out higher and a move lower, or could be establishing a new bull market trend higher. This week, in my opinion, is probably going to be the week that decides the trend for the next 2 to 4 weeks. So let's jump over to the dollar now. If you've watched my past reports, I am probably one of the few people out there right now that thinks we've established a short-term bottom in the dollar, and we're going to have a short period of a rally here in the dollar, which is also going to cause gold, silver, and copper to decline as well. If we take a look at these DeMark indicators here, we've had 1, 2, 3 13s hit just in the last couple weeks. We're on an 11 count in sequential, which means we could get another 13 this week if we see a decline in the dollar. And in addition to that, we have the COT report is showing heavy commercial buying for the dollar for weeks now. These are the reasons why I'm thinking the contrarian move is going to happen, and we're going to see a move higher in the dollar. Maybe it's caused by the ECB and BOE, what they do this week. But in my opinion, something's going to trigger the dollar to move higher here over the next couple weeks. And when that happens, we're going to see a decline in gold, copper, and silver. You'll see here in copper, we've hit so many 13s here in the last couple weeks. And then on Friday, I actually got short on this decline, the break below there. So I'm hoping to see some follow through this week lower in copper. To continue this short level. You can see here the TDST line says we could go all the way down to basically 3.8 That's a major move in copper and would take us right back into this area we were in before, taking out this move higher. And like I've said before, dollar goes up, copper, silver, and gold are going to go down. And these charts are almost identical. We have sell setups in copper, gold, and silver, and the buy setup in the dollar. Either the trend is going to continue, or this is actually going to signal selling and buying exhaustion, and we're going to see a short-term trend change. Last chart I want to hit on today is soybean oil. As I mentioned before, I was looking to get short soybean meal last week, looking for that long liquidation from the fund traders. We have a very interesting, almost opposite setup in bean oil. We're hitting into our resistance areas here that has been set, and at the same time, we're heading right towards that 9 buy setup. So, these things don't accidentally happen, in my opinion. We're going to hit this resistance level the same time we get seller exhaustion, and I'm going to be looking for a bounce off of that buy 9 setup that we get this week. In addition to this, we have heavy commercial buying of bean oil right now, and that's one of the other reasons why I think the commercials are setting us up for a bounce in soybean oil. Thank you for tuning in. If you like this content and want to see more, we have a lot of great content coming out in the next couple of weeks. So make sure to subscribe, like to this video, and hit the bell so you can see when our new videos come out over the next couple of weeks. Thank you for tuning in to Just Some Guy Trading.